fam, welcome back. It's been a long time, and today's show is all about you. Honestly, I thought I'm just gonna come here on this beautiful market that is green, that is pumping, and I do think if you have been following the Telegram, the free Telegram that I have, or you've just been following my updates on the 𝗪𝗏𝗋 Club, you know exactly that I do think that the reversal is here. This is the time to buy. So all I want to do is come here and give you at least 20 tokens that I'm buying, I'm looking at, I'm trading. So if this sounds good, smash the like button. We haven't been here for a long time. I actually traveled to Rand's birthday here in Cape Town. If you're here, let me know in the chat. Pump your tokens in here as well. For some reason, this doesn't update. I see that the chat is actually rolling here. For some reason, this doesn't update. We're going to take care of that. And if you're here, just let me know. Yeah, now it's better. Now it's better. All right. Cool. So, let's go, guys. Number one that I want to tell you, again, if you have not been following my content, a lot of people just ask me when I'm not here, and it's like, where are you? So I'm over at the 𝗪𝗋𝗋 Club every single morning. I'm dropping you an update there. So if I'm not doing these live shows here, I still keep you updated. I have a free Telegram, link in the description, and I have the 𝗪𝗋𝗋 Club where I drop these short updates. But when I can come here live, I'm actually coming here live. And when the market does this, and when I'm here in beautiful Cape Town, I can do these shows. So all I want to do on today's update, I said the reversal is confirmed. I'm buying here, and I am buying, but the question is what tokens I'm buying, where am I buying them, and also probably you have a lot of questions on your tokens. You want to buy into this token and that token, so you just pop it in here, make sure that you drop it in here, and I am going to look at your tokens after the basic analysis. So let's kick this off. I don't even want to waste a lot of time. So number one, I do think that we are seeing a reversal here. We have a market structure shift. Again, I explained this in the 𝗪𝗋𝗋 Club. I don't want to deep dive into this now, but you do have a higher high on the hourly chart, and that confirms that we are going to see a reversal happening on a higher time frame. We bounced off the 4-hour low. I've been screaming at you on my X, and I said that you should be buying this low here. I was telling you to buy the dip. I explained to you here, I was telling you that this is a no-brainer buy if you have not bought it here on the 4-hour low. This is exactly what happened. We are bouncing and we made a 1-hour high. So I'm expecting a potential pullback, a short-term pullback. Maybe it will happen in New York. If it happens in New York, I think it's an incredible opportunity to start layering in. And we're going to look at what tokens you might want to buy. Ultimately, I do think that the higher high is sufficient enough. So even though it's not like a V-shaped reversal that I would have liked to see, it is a very sufficient higher high. And we do have another structure formed here, which gives it even more power. I do think we're going to come back to the 50% on total, probably down to 3.82 trillion-ish, and then move on from there. So these are the moves that I want to catch. Number one, you got to rely on different narratives. One of the biggest narrative now is Sol treasury companies. We have been long in Sol for quite some time now, both with the bots and on manually. And I do think that Solana will do extremely well, but it's what is it, 213. Yesterday we were up at 206. We were discussing what to do. So I do think Solana is one of the major runners. The problem or the challenge that I see with Solana is that if you want to get into Solana, you will probably not get the 50%. Again, I can just tell you, if you have been following the 𝗪𝗋𝗋 Club updates, I've been screaming at you to get in here. Like, I've been literally telling you, this is the moment to buy. You should not be concerned. You should buy the dip. You would be up about 15-16% since the moment I told you to get in. So, but if you haven't, you should in theory wait for a 50% retrace. The only problem is I don't think the 50% is coming, and even if it does, I don't know how deep it is coming. So we do have a close even above the recent high, an hourly close above here. So if we get a pullback on Solana, I do think that the pullback will not go deeper than 201. So 201 could be your stop loss, and you can start accumulating Sol. Let me just see this below 209. Like, I do think that is if we get lucky and if we get a sell-off in New York, which I think is going to happen, I do think that this is going to be 207, 206, and buy between 209 and 201. Stop loss down here is sufficient, or you can just layer in and take the 50% on the main leg. I don't think we'll get this, but if we get, it's an incredible buy below 200, between 185 and 200, just accumulate. This is for Sol. The second thing I would look at, or I want to look at, is BNB, again, because of the treasury company narrative, BNB had a massive retrace, but it also built up massive liquidity. This is called the trend line liquidity here. And you see when you have an elevator up like this and you have it coming down, even though it broke below, it's not a problem because we do see, or we are going to see a higher high. And once that happens, this is going to start rallying. So I do believe BNB is a great buy as well. I would wait for a 50% retrace on this leg. If we are going to see that, I would wait for a 50% lag. We're down to 860 and just start accumulating here, or just wait for a higher high in a 5-minute time frame between 860 and 850. But in this case, because we didn't have a strong close above the 871 and we didn't form like a strong 4 hour, I would actually just, if I could, and we will see what the market does, but if we get an opportunity to come down sub 850, that would be a great idea. 850, 836. Of course, I want to look at Bitcoin, and then we can start looking at your tokens as well. Also, if you're rewatching this, I just want to let you know that there are timestamps below to all the tokens, so you can just scroll through them. And see the token that you want to see. On the hourly, again, beautiful market structure shift here on hourly. Again, I don't like the trend line liquidity, so if we start losing this low here, I do think that we're going much lower. I'm talking sub 110,000, possibly 105-ish. Ren yesterday asked me if I think we're going to go to 140 or 100K Bitcoin first, and I do think that 140 is much more likely than 100K. But I would not be surprised if we get a little bit of sell-off here. On the daily chart, though, you should be aware that the daily chart will hold, which is 97,000 is the bottom of the daily chart. So until then, I'm definitely not concerned. I'm looking at the total market cap, but this down here is the low on the daily chart. And until then, this is just a simple daily retrace. People were calling for the bear market right here, which was just a simple retrace to the weekly low, and then we created a new high. So I'm not worried at all. Let me look at the 4 hour, or let me look. Are you guys here in the chat before people are pumping their coins already. That's amazing. This is what I want to do. I want this show to be all about you. So we're going to jump back in here in a second. Bitcoin, I want Bitcoin at, so again, just waiting for this 50% retrace down here. I would be interested in getting Bitcoin at 112,000. Again, as a scalp, stop loss down here at 110,700. And then play at least until this supply zone up here. So play this 3-4% move, 2-3-4% move, even up here to the 116,000, and we'll see what it goes. If we can close above there, that's a very strong confirmation for the continuation. So we have to look at that. Now let me look at your coins. So it's what's good, what's happening. I also see 450 people in the chat. What is it? Watching the live show, but only 106 likes. So please, guys, push this up a little bit higher. Hottest alpha on the Web3. I have another alpha. Before I jump into your tokens, that you see up here, we have a new partner, Xapo Bank. Now, I will tell you very honestly, first of all, I'm extremely proud to have them as partners. We've been talking to them for a long time, and eventually they joined us here on the channel. If you're not familiar with Xapo Bank, I don't know if you've seen Trump's speech in 2024, Bitcoin 2024, but they are the ones behind Trump on Bitcoin 2024. They are a licensed bank. Now, I'll tell you, first time they came to us, I was like, it's a bank and crypto and how this whole thing will play out. But I want to tell you about Xapo Bank because they are absolutely incredible after deep diving into them. So they are a licensed bank, an actual licensed private bank that you can go to. You can deposit your dollars. They have a deposit guarantee, a security up to $100,000. But the best thing is that they are bridging Bitcoin with traditional banking. So TradeFi with Bitcoin. 4 things that I think you have to understand with them. One is that you're able to you're able to deposit not only dollars, but also stable coins, USDC, USDT. And again, this is a licensed bank. So you're able to deposit USDT, USDC, Bitcoin onto a licensed bank. But not only that, you can get 0.5% interest on your Bitcoin and 3.75% interest on your dollars paid in Bitcoin. So you can accumulate Bitcoin and get paid in Bitcoin on your holdings, on your dollar holdings, or Bitcoin holdings. And here is the other thing that 2 more things that I'm super excited about. One is that they do have 1% cashback on their bank cards. That means that if you have your funds and if you have the subscription in the Xapo Bank and you spend from their metal card, you can get 1% cashback on all your spending. Again, of course, on Bitcoin as well. There is no second best. But the best part is I always told you that I'm keeping my funds on Ledger, right? I was like, you stack Bitcoin, you just put Bitcoin aside, and you don't touch your Bitcoin. Now, more and more, I think that might not be the best way to go about it because your Bitcoin is doing nothing. So what 𝗙𝗑𝗏 Bank does is that you can deposit your Bitcoin into 𝗙𝗑𝗏, into the licensed bank, and you can borrow dollars against your Bitcoin. If you deposit one Bitcoin, I'm just saying a number, if you deposit one Bitcoin, you can get 0.25 to 0.4 Bitcoin worth of dollars as a loan against your Bitcoin. So while you're holding your Bitcoin, they custody it for you, they don't touch it, and you can borrow money, which you pay back every single month, and you can go indefinitely. So it's absolutely incredible. Go and check them out. There's a link in the description. Of course, there are a bunch of other stuff. You can diversify your portfolio, you can do S&P 500, you can invest in NASDAQ, you can bridge basically your Bitcoin into 𝗙𝗏𝗏 with a licensed bank. There's a link in the description. Let me just show you where you can go and check them out. And let me just search for YouTube here. What's happening here? So go and check them out. I was actually very, very surprised. I was very, very surprised to see what they've built and what they're doing. And of course, like I've seen them when Trump was speaking. I've seen them obviously, but I wasn't aware what they're actually building. It's absolutely incredible. You can just simply park your Bitcoin, borrow against your Bitcoin. It's mind blowing, and they're a licensed private bank. It's mind blowing what they're doing. So go and check them out. There's a link in the description. But now it is the time. Fefe is the best band to host. He doesn't preach hopium. No hopium. We kill the hopium here. We just talk about alpha. That's what we do. Let's go. Let's do some of your tokens. Let's go. 𝗏. I mean, I have my thoughts about 𝗏. Shady shit. And I know Trump is partnering with them and this and that. But, I mean, you know, okay, so let's do 𝗏, but I just wanted to tell you from the very beginning, like, I'm not a big fan of 𝗏. They also said that they burned tokens, which then they brought back to circulation and all the shady shit. I know it's pumping because they have great market makers, but this is gonna be one of the best shorts after the cycle, in my personal opinion. But anyway, so 𝗏 is pumping because of the whole announcement of the 𝗏 treasury company. I don't even know, they're holding, I don't know if you remember FTX and the FTT token. That's kind of what I think here is happening. But anyway, so they are pumping because of the announcement of I was actually seeing this at 26 cents, and since then it's up like 40%, but I didn't long at 26 cents because I just didn't want to. But I mean, you could possibly see a sell-off here. I don't think it's going to happen, but if it happens, you could be looking at a 50% retrace at 0.3 and just see a higher high, but I would just not touch it otherwise. Like, I just don't think this has long-term utility and anything like that, so I wouldn't just play with it. Render, let's go into render. Render. Oh, it's good to be back here, guys. It's good to be back here. Oh, I see liquidity building up on render, which I like. What I don't like is that it's building up in a higher time frame supply zone. So I would not be surprised if we would see a push here. Bam! And then a rejection. We'll have to figure out if the rejection is happening. I would be bullish on render. The problem is it broke below here. So I would not be surprised if it styles off down to the 3.5-ish. Probably not my favorite trade. Probably not my favorite trade, but the hourly is here. You have liquidity building up. If it comes back to the 3.5-ish region, I think it could be a buy targeting this liquidity up here, 3.7. Could be a trade. Not my favorite. Near, let me look at Near. Near is incredible. Let me look at Near. So I love Near as a protocol, but also I love their stuff like Near Intense. I talked about a lot of times. They are partners as well. It's absolutely incredible. The best bridge I've ever used in my life. Liquidity is building up here on Near, and it's in a higher time frame supply zone almost. So I'm not that bullish, but if it comes down to the 2.4-ish, I'm talking trades, right? So I do hold Near on spot. I have a little bit of Near, but if it comes back down to the 2.4, I do think it can be a great buy for the bounce up. It's also in a very, very strong daily demand zone. So I would not be surprised if this starts mooning, coming up at least 2.6, so you can catch that move, but it comes back to 2.4. That is the buying area. AVAX, let's look at AVAX. Yes, I shorted AVAX up here. I mean, if you're not in the free Telegram, I have a free Telegram. It's like, it's a no-brainer to be in here. We're going to pin it in the comments because we're going to pin it up here, but also we're going to put it in the description. I share my alpha here, and we shorted this thing, and we literally sold the bottom here. What is it? Bought back, so we closed it on the bottom here. But I do think that this was extremely bearish. Like, the whole thing with AVAX was bearish. I do think it's building up liquidity here, and AVAX will fly if gaming flies, but gaming does not fly for now. So So I would not be surprised if AVAX starts selling off here, coming down to even the $20 region. And I know it's kind of like an obnoxious saying because it's like 20% from here, but I would not be surprised if it would start selling off. Now, obviously, you have to be a buyer at around 23 with the stop loss down here at 22. So that could be an interesting trade. Otherwise, I'm not really interested in buying AVAX. Like this demand zone here was not able, this massive demand zone was not able to create a push above this level, which creating a new high. So I don't even, yeah, I'm not that bullish. Down here at like $20-ish could be a great idea to add. Otherwise, if it comes back down to the 23, I'm gonna do a scalp trade probably down here at 22 stop. So we're gonna see how that goes out. Virtual, I haven't even looked at virtual. Haven't even looked at virtual for a long time. Let me see this. Yeah. Not interested. Like, I mean, look at this. Like, I know virtual in the future and but I mean, look at this. Like, first of all, the narrative is not there. Like, AI agents probably dead. But look at this. Supply zone here, massive sell-off, close below, even on the 4 hour, I'd assume. Yeah, I mean, it's not definitely not something I'm interested in. If it comes above here, 1.23, short it. Like, if it comes back 1.23 and just shows a lower low, short it. I am going to short it, cause please take a note. Which could be something short. Cardano. Let's look at Cardano. Building up liquidity. It's also looking good on the upside. I mean, this is definitely a very strong demand zone. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And it comes back here. It can't make a new high, but it's coming back. If Cardano would come down to the 80-cent mark, like $0.8, that's a good buy with a stop loss down here at like 76. So if it comes all the way down here, if you're into Cardano, you know, if you like suffering, this could be great at about 80 cents. That would be my buy. Solana we analyzed. You can look back. Tau. I wanted to get a Tau entry for ages. I wanted to get a Tau entry for a long time, but I couldn't. Oh, Tau is at 335. Shit. This is actually an amazing entry on Tau. I mean, I don't know if we're going to start falling, but I might launch a pot with this. 26% down here. I mean, this is a very strong demand here, right? So this area here is like a very strong demand zone. So I would not be surprised to see it down here, 275. Fuck, that would be bad, 20% down. But I mean, I wanted to get a Tau entry for a long time. I do believe Tau has great future and it has like a massive liquidity built up. I would not be surprised if Tau goes to 700. I might just set up a bot on this on the 100x Club. If you have not subscribed to the 100x Club as well, go and do that. I'm dropping daily updates and tutorials and much more. So do that. There's a link in the description. But I think I might set up a bot on this or yeah. So I mean, you could, yeah, I don't know. It's a 50% stop down here in the daily. I don't want to take that risk, but I also don't want to miss this. So I'm probably, if we have a close above 379, I'm probably going to get in. 379, I'm going to update you in Telegram, 379. If we get the close above there, that would be a confirmation for me that we're reversing. Otherwise, I'll just wait. I mean, this might just come down here to the 248-ish. That would be generational entry on Tau. Yeah, that would be that shit. Okay. I just get news that Robinhood listed Ton. We're going to talk about Ton in a second, but I wanted to tell you about Tau actually. I wanted to get a Tau entry for so long. But I invented this. What is happening here? What is happening here? I wanted to get a Tau entry for so long, and I couldn't. I was up 400, whatever, and I couldn't get it. But I invested into something called Inspect. Inspect is the first layer 2 for Tau, and absolutely incredible. So now you can earn Tau with posting on X. They have a bunch of cool stuff. And this is the token that I personally invested in, and I wanted to tell you about. INSP USDT. And I wanted to tell you about because I do believe that this is in a great spot to start getting in. So if you look at this, first of all, again, first layer 2 on Tau. Tau, I'm extremely bullish in general as the AI infrastructure. Being the first layer 2 on Tau, supporting the infrastructure is a very good narrative. And Tau itself is a leader in the narrative. So, and you're pretty early in this. It's coming back to the weekly demand zone down here. And I do think that this is an incredible entry. You have about a 35% stop loss down to the bottom here. I don't think we're going to break below the 2 cent mark. If it comes a little bit lower, I would consider accumulating. I mean, again, I bought in, I invested in the token. And I do think it's a great idea to hold on spot. Massive liquidity. I would not be surprised if it will start pushing and we go up to at least 30-40% in the coming months. So this is something I would be looking at. Okay, Ton. Robinhood just listed Ton. Let's see. Let me guess. There was no price movement. Oh, there is a little bit of a wick here. Okay, that's not bad. There's a little bit of a wick here. on this news. What is this? It's a 6.5%. So 𝗏 is also something that I'm holding for like a long term. Like I invested in 𝗏 as well. I hold the token and it came back 50. I mean, 𝗏 is, oh, look at this. Look at this. This is actually fucking good. And look at this. It's like elevator up and then it stares down. Like this is something you want to look at. You want to accumulate 𝗏. Like it's not a question. You want to accumulate 𝗏. Next step for 𝗏 is $4. I think at least $4. So again, I invested in 𝗏 as well. I do think it's great for spot, but also it's a great trade to take. Now, whether you take it now after the news, probably market makers will sell into this news. Your stop loss is 20%, so I wouldn't really, be bothered by it. I don't think we're going to close below the $2.6 mark anytime soon. Elevator up, stairs down. 𝗏 is a great buy in my opinion. Algorand, I'm not going to look at Algorand based on principles. Sonic, let's go Sonic. Let's go Sonic. Oh my God. We should, holy shit. Sonic is, I'm telling you now. I'm just going to make sure that I'm looking at the right token. Yes, I'm looking at the right token. Shit, this is, you have to buy this. I am going to open a trade on this. This is accumulation. I know what happens after accumulation. Like, I know exactly what happens when you see a pattern like this on the chart. Exhaustion, massive pump, exhaustion, dump. Everybody gets out. The token is dead. Accumulation, and then a massive freaking green dildo candle. That's what's happening here. So I am going to start accumulating 𝗏. What is this? Sonic. Now, I will tell you one thing. Sonic is Finality and whatever. One of the fastest chains out there. Andrew 𝗪𝗏𝗪 is, Andrei 𝗪𝗏𝗪, sorry. He's literally the god of DeFi, right? I do think he's going to make it into a success. I don't really like the liquidity on the chart, so I don't like this. This could come lower, but if you're being aware of the of your risk, I'm gonna open it and as a cross position most likely, and it's gonna accumulate it. I'm gonna keep you updated in a Telegram here. I'm gonna do this after the show. I'm going to open up this. I think this is an incredible place to start getting into Sonic. I genuinely believe so. Aptos. Let's look at Aptos. We love Aptos as well, of course. You know that I'm holding Aptos. I think it's so Aptos itself as a layer one is incredible. Look at it. Same thing. You got to accumulate Aptos. Yeah, I'm going to accumulate Aptos as well. More. I mean, I have a lot of Aptos and I hold it on spot. But I think Aptos, again, like $10-15 should not be an issue for Aptos. Very good people, great relationships, great team, great tech, great partnerships, a great exposure. It's just, there is no reason why this should not bounce off of this weekly support up here and hit like at least $10-15, come back to the supply zone up here. I do not see any reason. Look at this, a very similar pattern that we've seen out here. Look. Very similar pattern. Again, I hold Aptos as well, like I invested in the project, but you see the very similar pattern. I am a buyer of Aptos here. Again, stop loss, if I was to take like a leverage position, I would put it down here, 3.1. This will be protected by market makers. $3 is the max, so this is also a great buy. Cause please take note, I want to accumulate Aptos, and I want to accumulate, damn, what was the previous token that we were looking at? I forgot what was the previous token. But we have to do that as well, the previous token. Okay, 𝗙𝗏𝗏, let's go 𝗙𝗏𝗏. I mean, the memes, it's a great stuff. Like, yeah, massive liquidity. Look at, yeah, I shorted 𝗙𝗏𝗏 as well. Look, I shared this trade with you. Look at this. I mean, since we shorted, it's down like 20%. I closed it, but yeah, I do think that this is, I don't like the liquidity here. Liquidity on top as well, like, yeah, you can look at it two ways. This is a risky one, right? I'm not going to buy in here, but this is a risky one. So Sonic was the other one. I remember now. Sonic was the other one. So this could potentially be your trade down here, right? 20% stop loss. This should bounce here because it has a massive push and then it comes back slowly. But I just don't know if memes are gonna fly, and if memes flying, is 𝗙𝗏𝗏 gonna fly? Like, I'm just not confident in the whole thing. 𝗬𝗏, my dude. 𝗬𝗏, let's go 𝗬𝗏. Fuck, we celebrated Rand's birthday yesterday, and I don't usually drink, but when I do, I'm like, and I feel like I feel dizzy for all this drinking. Are you guys drinking alcohol? Like, I don't know, it kills you. Alcohol kills you. Beautiful retrace on 𝗬𝗏. Beautiful. I think it's building up liquidity. 𝗬𝗏 would down here at $3. 𝗬𝗏 is a buy. If 𝗬𝗏 comes down to $3, $3 to $3.2, somewhere here in this supply, this demand, buy, definitely buy, definitely. 𝗬𝗏's next step is $5. $5. I don't really hold Sui on spot, but I think it's an incredible trade. HBAR. Let's go HBAR. I see someone posted ordinal or ordi as a token. Like for anybody who's wondering, like I'm holding my ordinals. For anybody who's wondering, I still have 6 figures worth of ordinals that I'm holding, and I do believe that's the future. So HBAR will be a great buy at 21 cents, right? So if it comes back discount on the daily, this is a massive green deal over here, right? So elevator upstairs down, I would be interested in start layering in at 21 cents. This is something that I would be interested in doing. So definitely interesting there. Link, Chainlink. Yes, something I wanted to look at for a long time, but I haven't. Link, USDT. Yeah, difficult. I mean, if it comes back here, $21, Link is a good buy, but it's already pumped so much. Like, look at this. This is what you see on Aptos, by the way. This is what you see on Sonic and Aptos. Look at this. A cumulate and then a 500% profit. This is what I'm expecting on Aptos and Sonic. Actually, it's rather this. Look, it's rather this. Bam. But anyway, yeah, if it comes back down here, 21.3, 21.4, that's a buy. Let's do one more. 𝗪𝗲𝗹𝗃. 𝗪𝗲𝗹𝗃. Just got listed. I mean, you can't really analyze this, but I think it goes like this. Oh, that's what I'm expecting from 𝗪𝗲𝗃. I posted it in here. I posted about 𝗪𝗲𝗃 in the Telegram. You can just scroll back and see my thoughts on there. Okay, guys, I wanted to tell you one more thing before I leave. We can do a few more tokens, but before I do that, I wanted to show you this. You probably have seen me eating motorbikes on the MotoGP this weekend. Yeah, it's very funny, I know. It's I've been thinking a lot about how to make this happen. We shot like hours and hours. So yeah, it's very funny. But anyway, big shout out to BitGet for inviting me. And they do have an incredible promotion for us. They are partners, of course. And I told them that we need a great promotion for the community. So what they did for us, is that if you deposit, BitGet is an incredible exchange, licensed, regulated. They sponsor major things like La Liga, MotoGP. They work with people like Messi, and they do have up to $6,200 bonus. But what they did for us, if you sign up using our link, you will get $100 and deposit $100. You will immediately get back $100 in a trading bonus. So go and check that out down here. One more thing I wanted to say about Xapo Bank, because I was all about Xapo Bank, right? But one thing I wanted to tell you is that if you use our link, I don't know how long they keep it, to be honest with you. But if you use our link, you get $42 off of your subscription a month, which is almost 50%. But I don't know if it's only for 2 weeks or whatever that might be. So go and check that out. But you do get about $42 off your monthly subscription if you do it now. And if you just have Bitcoin that's sitting on the side, this is the way to go. There's a link in the description. What else do we have? E-Gold, nah. With Popcat, no. Super, please. Okay, Yasser is asking super, please. So let's go super. Let's go do super for this guy here. Also, guys, let me know, please. Now is the time to let me know if you like this show, if we should do more of this. This is literally just token analysis. I'm running through, preparing for trades. Let me know, please, if you like this. If you do, we can do more of these shows, but I just wanted to know. Super, I'm not super happy about super. You look at this. I mean, look at it multiple ways. You can say they're coming back for a weekly here, or you can just look at it the fact that it's dying. It's like down to 40% since July, end of July. So I'm not really a buyer. If we go above $67 cents, could be interesting. Super Swift Show, I'm happy. Doge, Arbitrum. Yes, with love. Yes, hit the like button. Crow is still pumping. Yes, it will. They have ammo. We love Fefe, I love you back. Yes, Fefe, I love it. Later, Oz data 8:30. I don't know what that means. No filler show. Yes. When gaming goes, super goes hardest. I agree. Love this type of shows as well as the daily updates. I'm so happy. Airwave, no, just give it to us raw. It is what it is. Digging the show. I'm happy you do. Love it, Chief. I'm happy. Takes on US data later. We'll just see. We'll have to see. Nothing. There's rate cuts happening in September, so nothing matters really. Trump.dead. I don't know what that means. Hey mate, thanks for coming today. You're welcome. I'm gonna be here tomorrow as well. Good job keeping going live, guys. I wanted to tell as well, like, we're gonna do probably a very similar show tomorrow as well. We'll see, but I wanted to tell you that the daily update on the total market cap in the morning for the morning coffee, whether you're in the States or Europe, this is the place to be. 100 Club. So go. There's a link in the description. You'll be able to see it up here. Market updates. You can just click on there, and you're gonna land on the first market update that I did in the morning. So go and check that out. Subscribe to the channel here as well. Of course, we're bringing you the latest alpha. This is going to be the market update that I put out today. You can just subscribe and see there, and come back for another one. You can click here to subscribe, and you can click here to see the playlist that I put together here, guys. I appreciate you so much for being here. Much love to you. Check out the links in the description, and I believe I'll see you in another one. Take care.